Imagine two people, same age, same city, same industry, and on the very same Friday, they both get a notification. Their salary has just crossed $100,000 a year. It's the number they have been chasing their entire careers. But you see, for one of them, it's a milestone. For the other, it's a trap.
So, meet Chase. He's sitting in his car just staring at the direct deposit. He kind of lets out this little laugh, but not because he's happy. It's because he just mentally added up everything he owes, and this big, shiny new number, it's still not enough. And then there's Melly. She sees the exact same notification, closes her phone, and just goes for a walk. For her, the raise didn't really change her life, it just confirmed it. One of them just got richer. The other just got trapped.
So what is happening here? We're talking about the same income on the same day in the same city. How can one person feel like they're finally secure while the other feels like the walls are closing in? Well, today, we're going to break down why crossing that six-figure mark quietly rewires your entire financial life, and why for so many people, it's the exact point where the math just stops making sense.
Okay, let's just dive right into the heart of this. We have to start with a truth that might sound like a complaint, but it's not. It's just a fact. The $100,000 salary is simply not what it used to be. The idea of it that we all have in our heads, well, it's dangerously out of date.
Just take a look at this. It's a really stark picture of inflation. That $100,000 salary we're all chasing, well, back in 1990, it had the same buying power as over $245,000 today. I mean, even just back in 2020, it was worth about $124,000 in today's money. The goalpost hasn't just moved, it's in a completely different stadium now.
Let this one sink in for a second. The number that an entire generation associated with true wealth, yachts, early retirement, total financial freedom, it now has the same buying power as just $36,000 did back in 1980. That is the reality of the number we are all chasing.
And because of that erosion of value, the six-figure club has gotten a whole lot more crowded. Back in 1992, only about 5% of households were in it. It was exclusive. Today, it's nearly half of them. The number that used to symbolize making it is now kind of the median experience for a massive chunk of the workforce, and that completely changes what it means to get there.
So, okay, the value has dropped. We get that. But the real shock, the part that really hits you, is when you see how fast that $100,000 salary shrinks before it even hits your bank account. This is where the illusion really starts to fall apart.
Let's just break down the basic math for a single person. Right off the bat, federal taxes and FICA, that's your Social Security and Medicare, they take over $20,000. Gone. That's more than 20% of your salary vaporized before you've even thought about state taxes.
And this right here, this shows you the geography penalty perfectly. The exact same job, same role, same gross pay, but if you happen to live in New York City instead of a no-income tax state like Texas, you lose an extra $700 a month. That is over $8,000 a year just vanished because of your zip code.
But you know what? The taxes you pay aren't even the biggest part of the story. The real financial gut punch comes from the benefits and the deductions that you suddenly lose. There are all these invisible lines drawn right around that $100,000 mark. And let me tell you, crossing them comes with a penalty.
Once you hit this income level, a whole bunch of tax advantages just poof, evaporate. The ability to deduct your student loan interest? Gone. Major education tax credits that help you out? They phase out. That deduction for your traditional IRA contribution? Also gone if you have a 401k. It's like the tax system throws you a party for your success, and the only gift is a bigger bill.
So here's the kicker. This shrinking paycheck then slams right into the brick wall of reality. At today's mortgage rates, a $100,000 salary can technically afford the median-priced home in the country. But here's the catch. It can't afford the median price of the homes that people are actually buying. There's this huge, fundamental disconnect between what your salary can get you and what the market is actually demanding.
And if you need just one statistic, one single fact to understand how completely warped the meaning of six figures has become, this is it. In a major American city, you can earn over $100,000 a year and still be officially classified as low income, literally qualifying for subsidized housing. That's not just a policy quirk. That's the ceiling collapsing onto the floor.
Okay, so let's step away from the spreadsheets for a minute. How does all of this actually feel? Because the hard numbers are one thing, but the psychological cost, that's a whole other story. Let's look at what this financial paradox feels like inside a real household, on a random Tuesday night. So meet the Parkers. They're a dual-income family bringing in a combined $200,000 a year. By every cultural metric we have, they are absolutely winning. Their take-home pay is almost $13,000 a month. But then, life happens. The mortgage, the insane cost of daycare, the student loans, groceries, all the non-negotiable costs of just having a normal adult life. And after all of those essentials are paid for, this so-called successful family has just $400 left over. That's their entire monthly margin for everything else. We're talking clothes, birthday gifts, a date night, saving for a vacation. It is a razor-thin edge, and it is exactly why they feel trapped, despite having this massive income.
And this is the part nobody warns you about. It's not the fear of some big, dramatic crisis. It's the constant, low-grade stress of the small decisions. It's having to genuinely debate whether you should buy the $40 shoes or the $22 shoes for your kid, even when you make $200,000 a year. That's the stuff that feels so heavy.
And you know what? The Parkers are not alone. This data shows something absolutely fascinating. The percentage of people living paycheck to paycheck, it's high for lower earners, which makes sense. Then it drops for people in that $100,000 to $200,000 range. But then, look at this. It shoots right back up for the highest earners. The culprit? It's a little thing called lifestyle creep. As your income grows, your expenses grow right along with it. And the raise that was supposed to buy you freedom ends up just buying you a bigger, more expensive cage.
All the research on happiness pretty much backs this up. It turns out that $100,000 is a really critical inflection point. For the least happy people, more money above this point doesn't really seem to help much. But for people who are already pretty content, it can accelerate their joy. So the raise doesn't really change you. It just reveals and amplifies who you already were.
Okay, so we've laid out the problem. It is a paradox of high income and high anxiety. But look, awareness without action is just more anxiety. So how do you actually escape this thing? Well, we need a new playbook.
So what's the playbook for this new reality? It really comes down to 3 new rules to live by. First, you have to reframe your thinking. $100,000 isn't the finish line anymore. It's the new baseline. It's the starting line. Second, and this is the most important one, you have to aggressively protect the gap between your income and your expenses. Every single time you get a raise, automate that extra income straight into savings or investments before you even have a chance to get used to it. And third, just accept the new math. Don't waste your energy being angry about it. Focus on what you can actually control. And this is the single most important takeaway from all of this. The day you finally feel rich won't be because your paycheck got bigger. It'll be the day you realize your expenses didn't grow as fast as your income did. The goal was never the number on your paycheck. It was always about the margin, the space, the freedom, the breathing room between what you earn and the life you actually live. That's the real prize.